Andrea, to start with you, how was your weekend?
My weekend, um, I don't know. It's just full of rest maybe. And then I'm just glad we're safe. We're really having this back to back to back to back typhoons. We're not yet done. To be honest, we have two more coming in. We have one currently right now. It's passing by our location, but the good thing is it's not that strong. Hopefully the two ones coming in won't be that strong too.
Mm,
Being safe, it's very good to be. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm always thankful for.
yeah, yeah. Do you guys have a place in your home where you take shelter, or is it just hits hard, lose internet, lose power?
Yeah, it would
Like,
just hit hard, and we would lose all of those. um well, from my past experience, we haven't reached the point yet where we need to move to a shelter. We have some areas here that needs to do that, but well, hopefully this place that I'm renting now would not make us, find a shelter. Um so yeah, I think not yet, not that point yet.
yeah, yeah. Isn't it interesting? No matter where we live in the world, there's something in nature that just makes us remember it's there. Like you
Yeah,
have typhoons, we have blizzards. California has earthquakes.
yeah.
Florida has hurricanes. Yeah, it's crazy. Nature is always there and always strong. Oh man. Good morning, everybody. I see a lot of people jumping in. For those of you just joining us, as we start every single week, make sure you type into the chat something that gave you love, joy, appreciation, pride. What happened for you last week or last weekend that really gave you a sense of joy? Type that into the chat. That's how we begin to set the vibration for the week. Excellent. Good morning. Good morning. Dickens, I see you've unmuted. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. How about you from last week or weekend? Give us a check in.
Oh, good. Well, a bit tired. It was a eventful weekend. As you know, my wife do event decoration, and we had a funeral. So friend's father that we were helping out this Saturday, and yesterday I had my daughter's birthday. So a bit tired. I need a rest.
Wow, lots of birthdays then. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have on the plan for the week?
Plan for the week, working. I have a short sale that almost done, so I need to coordinate with the buyer, seller, and thing like that. So that's a good thing. And I have my listing that I need to work on, and I have few guys that I'm with. There's some activity in the wholesale world. So yeah, that's gonna be it. And take some time for the family also. So
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Good, Dickens. Some time for the family also. Hopefully, most of your week is for you and your family with work being put in between. Maybe.
oh,
Maybe.
nah, it's gotta be a work and and the family.
Okay. All right. You get to choose, right? You get to
Yeah,
choose.
at least for the next few weeks, and I know that's what they expect also for the next few weeks, and then we can, write things down.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Beautiful, man. Well, I love that. I'm happy to see your shining face today. I see
Yeah.
Brian Lucier has just joined, his smiling face. All right. Ooh, oh, and the guns. Gun show today. Woo! How about you, Brian? What last week or weekend?
Oh my goodness, 20 hours of video editing. I'm jumping on a flight today. I'll be in the United States for the next 3 weeks. Can't wait to freeze my ass off.
Not cold yet. Not cold yet. That's all right.
Yes, it is.
To certain people, yes, yes.
Don't lie to me, Nick.
That's awesome. Welcome back. What was your video editing for? What did you edit?
The podcast, two
Oh,
yellow ones, two blue ones. One of them was the RIA event I did this past June, July.
yeah.
That one's going to launch in a couple of weeks. Really nice one. We had Zach Beach
Yep.
Everybody knows Zach. He's coming up this Friday. And then I did 2 of the yellow videos. One of them was on virtual showings. Some really good tips in there. And then the other one was pet screening.
Pet, you said pet screening
Yeah, pet screening. Pets versus animals.
for tenants, for landlords. Got it. Yeah.
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 These pit bulls keep coming in as emotional support animals and chewing the living crap out of units. So
Oh, that's.
one of us is laughing.
I know. Well, I got out of Pennsylvania, which is where all the pit bulls and Rottweilers were, but I don't know where. Oh.
Rottweilers are okay. I don't mind a Rottweiler. They're my breed.
Yeah.
So you know the difference between comedy and tragedy, right?
Comedy and tragedy, I do. I think I do. But go ahead.
Yeah, when it happens to you.
I know. I like that definition. That's a good one.
So you can laugh.
I can. Although my Shiba Inu is pretty vicious, I have to admit. He's
Was that 5 pounds?
he's a good 19, but he's 19 pounds of pure fury. People on here know him.
Yeah. My Roddy was 115 pounds.
Oh.
She
Oh.
broke my knee.
Oh, geez. You must still love her? That's amazing.
I have not loved her for over 10 years now. I still love her, but not.
Yeah, not the
I
earthly.
can't pet her anymore.
Yep. Oh, I got it.
Right.
For those of you who are joining us, make sure you type into the chat things that gave you joy, love, pride, appreciation over the past week and weekend. This is how we start our week and raise our vibration to attract everything we want to attract. Thank you, Michelle. I see your note. Michelle was part of our Soul Purpose workshop Friday and Saturday. Thank you for uncovering and clarifying my gifts and talents in the beautiful Soul Purpose workshop. So appreciative that you shared your energy, Michelle. Very, very, very powerful couple days for me as well, just to kind of witness people uncovering their gifts, strengths, and who they are meant to be on this planet. That was really neat.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, how are you today, Michelle?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm embracing the day. It was started off to be a little rainy, but I try to see past that. Now the sun's out, so we're getting the day going. Getting in the good mindset off of the good meditation, journaling, all that good stuff. So trying to keep the clouds clear above the head.
That's it. Are you doing your physical pushing away?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's really helpful to kind of bring me back for sure. So thank you for that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know what? It was a beautiful moment for me, a learning moment. And it was because of you, Michelle. So when we were in the workshop and I realized I had tried to put, when I first had my first workshop, they had 3 days of content programming and like, right this on here. Let me try to see if I can move. They had like 3 days of stuff I tried to push into a 10-hour period. So Michelle was feeling a little rushed, right? And this was helpful for me, Michelle, because it seemed like you were just like in school, because I had the same feeling where we're rushed, but it's almost like we don't want to say anything. So we kind of fall behind, and then they keep moving forward, and then like we're like totally lost. Was that kind of what happened?
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Then I also had the Betty White movement of thinking like, oh, we're going to end it too so I can make a shake. I was starting to get starving. And then when the blood sugar gets low, all of a sudden I became Betty White in the Snickers commercial, like not feeling quite like yourself. So all of that happened at once as I was falling apart. So yeah, exactly what happens.
But then you asked for help, or you then said, you said kind of what was going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was helpful. And then Scott, was like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way. So it was good that it wasn't all in my head, but it was interesting how I was triggered. I was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah. That brings us back to some stuff. But it's another good reminder for all of us, right? To ask for what we need. Because the moment you ask for what you need, it gives others permission, if they didn't have it before, to ask for what they need. It's a beautiful opening.
Yeah, it really was. I appreciate the invitation. Because I was melting down and falling into old patterns. And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't need to do this anymore. I can actually ask for what I need. So that was super helpful. Like I do have a voice that's right. I can say what I need.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
thank you.
I love that. Thank you. No, it was big. I got just as much out of this weekend as you guys did. So that was amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, brilliant. All right, before we move into our topic for today, I see some new names in here. Just want anybody else want to do a little check-in or introduce themselves? And that's okay if not. This is a we come and we go meeting. Um, and I wanted to, you know what, just since we're on, Brian, do you have any more artwork you're able to show us or no?
Oh my God. My walls are pretty much bare right now. I've sold a few pieces, and there is a charity auction November 22nd. I'm not going to be here for.
Yeah.
So I donated a painting, and I've got 4 for sale on that. The proceeds are going to go to 2 of the local orphanages here in Aruba.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
yeah. I do have one that I've started, but you'll see it later. I'll be
Yeah.
back here on the island in December. There'll be more to look at then.
Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, I love that.
But I will share the theme of it. The name of the piece is Future Green. It is one of the fofoti trees which are native here to the island. And the woman is the root, the man is the trunk, the branches of the children, the flowers and seeds of the grandchildren, and the fruit of the tree is love. So I'm starting to think through a theme for a future gallery event. I've envisioned, the owner of the gallery has already said, one day I want you to be a featured artist here and we'll do a night. So we saw one the other night for one of the local artists here. It's really nice. I like the way they set it up. But if my ticket is out there somewhere, I have a lot of painting to get done and a lot of thought to put out there.
Yeah. Oh my God, Brian, amazing. This is so good. The creativity. Oh my gosh.
What can I say?
Oh, I love that. It's part of life. The creativity is the stuff that we actually are living for a lot of, right? Like a lot of us, this is for people who are just working, chickens. If you can really take that step back and realize why we work, why we produce, why we do all these things, it's to really enjoy, right? And create. We're all creators. Inherently, we are creators. From the moment we're born, before we're born, you want to go nuts, right? Before we're born, we actually created this whole 3D reality using the laws, using all the things that we're learning when we come into this planet. Like, oh, it's amazing how gravity works. It's amazing how those stars are going outwards and these stars are coming towards us. It's amazing how the leaves turn colors every single season. We actually created all of these laws as part of creation. And now we get to experience and enjoy. And in Brian's case, we get to create more. We get to do whatever we want to do here as humans, just like we were in spirit form. It's beautiful. Love that. I think I lost people there. That's okay. I'm used to losing
And I
people.
get paint on my toes.
And paint goes on the toes.
Yeah, I step in it.
Hey, Michelle, since we still have about 2 more minutes before we go into our topic, what were 1 or 2 of your big takeaways from this weekend?
Okay, that's a great question. One of them was definitely the mirror exercise. When I got a lot of feedback, I wasn't able to get all 20, but I was able to get like 18 or 19, so that made me feel good. There was a lot of commonalities with what people saw in me. Using using a lot of the same descriptions and ways to to talk about my gifts and talents, whether it's like sense of humor or great listener or, fiercely loyal, never giving up. Like there was a lot of things that really sort of like strung together that a lot of people saw in me. So that commonality really helped sort of solidify what I knew in my heart. And let's say trusting myself more and not looking externally, looking more internally, and and just like I said, just trusting myself and working with it and working through the old stories, the old voices that kind of creep back from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you, we did a series of assessments A lot of them have the brain and the mind where you answer a bunch of questions and it gives you kind of a, it's not just like Myers-Briggs. It's not like a DISC profile. It's not like Integrator Visionary. They're much more intense, but they all highlight different things. So we did a series of these assessments, and then we did an assessment that is just your astrological assessment, so that it's interesting to see the commonalities and the almost identical, right? Like all of these things that we took time, we answered questions. This is who this personality test is that we are. And then all you do is pop your birthday into another assessment. And it's scary how accurate and how those match those other assessments, right? That's kind of
That's
why we
exactly
do that.
what I thought. It was eerily scary. I was like, wow, it was almost like they were hiding in the bushes, you know? It was like they wanted to know the exact time and the location of where you were born and your birth date. And it was like, boom, there you were on paper. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm still going through it. I was going through it last night. I'll continue to go through it today just to finish it up, you know?
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. All right. Brian did the joy, environment, beaches, wildlife, and nature. Yeah. Love. Looking backward to see my growth. As for those of you too who are new here, so again, if you popping into the chat, gratitude, joy, appreciation, and love, there are 3 questions that you can ask yourself to get you into alignment as we start this week. And by going into alignment, this is how we begin to attract better partners, attract better deals, attract better lead flow, instead of just having to grind and grind and grind. Those 3 questions. 1, how can you show up better for you today? How can you show self-love to yourself? Walk in nature, booking a massage, walking on the beach, whatever that might be. How can you do that for yourself? Number 2, who else do you choose to show up for today in a meaningful way? By sending a text, sending a note, sending an email. Maybe it's an old family friend or an old friend you haven't spoken to in a really long time. Maybe it's your loved one. Maybe it's a partner. Number 3, what's one step, one thing you can do today that moves you forward to that which brings you the most excitement or passion in your life? What is one thing you can do today that moves you forward to that which brings you the most excitement or passion in your life? For those of you who are committed to the cause of raising the vibration, feel free to pop that into the chat, or you can jump on here and answer it for us. And other than that, check on time. Cool. If I see one, I will share that. You guys can pop that in the chat. Otherwise, what I wanted to share today is I had a really amazing meditation this morning. And for those of you who know who Eckhart Tolle is, he's a spiritual teacher. And I was listening and feeling about these. We all have these moments of yes and moments of no. No moments and yes moments. And it doesn't necessarily mean what we prefer and what we don't prefer, but it ultimately boils down to, in right now with what's happening, yes, I am allowing this. Yes, I'm okay. Yes, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. Or in this moment, no, I don't prefer this. No, I'm not okay. No, how can I change these external circumstances to make me feel better? Right? And Eckhart Tolle, a question that was asked of him is, but how do we take that and bring it into this 3D realm world? And he mentioned the best place for this, and I thought this was great. Line at the grocery store. You're in line at the grocery store. You've got a whole bunch of food and stuff in your carriage. Maybe you've got kids pulling at you. Maybe you've got someone else somewhere else waiting for you, or waiting for something that you're just, in the line waiting to check out. There's noises, there's beeping, there's all sorts of things happening.
And
And
people
what's
who
happening?
don't speak English.
People who don't speak English. All of that, right? And you're about to pay this bill of like $200 or $300, depending, right? And like, all of this is happening at once. Can you be ultimately and completely present with a yes in that moment, knowing that this is part of the experience? This is part of you learning presence, me learning presence. This is part of what life is. And this became like, okay, how else, what else, where else can we, of course, take this? I was in a facilitation training on Saturday evening, and in the facilitation training, they were talking about, being with what is. There's a certain time, there's been a couple people when we lead our ceremonies where they have, a massive headache, or they're feeling a pain in their back, or they have something in their stomach. And it's funny because most of us get a stomach ache and we're like, oh gosh, where's the, like the pink stuff, Pepto-Bismol, where's the Tums, where's this and that? We get a migraine, we immediately go for the acetaminophen, and we just have to like shut our eyes and just let it go. But what if it's there to be moved? Like, what if everything that we experience is feedback to allow us to allow us to actually just say yes and love that thing and love ourselves in that moment? And the beauty of this is in our practice. So we've had people with headaches specifically and stomach aches in these ceremonies, and the moment they stop fighting it and stop hating it and feeling like, and they just embrace the discomfort, you know what? It's here. This is presence. This is presence. It's here. I love this. What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I love you. I love you. Love you. Guess what happens to the energy? It's just energy. The energy dissipates. It transmutes. It goes, because that's all it is it's feedback and knowledge for us that something is trying to give us a message. And if we are just present with it and can listen with our inner ear to that message, right? What is it trying to say? Can we love it for coming up? Can we love it for just being here? Can we love all that noise in the grocery store? Can we love the feeling of being able to go get groceries, being able to put food in our refrigerator, right? Like, can we love the fact that everyone's going through the same experience as a human at the same time? Can we love the fact that, instead of saying, I need more, instead of saying, I can't wait until, instead of saying, I'll be okay when, the moment we say that, it means we're not okay. The moment we say that, we're in our no, right? No, this moment is not okay. No, this is now resistance. And what we resist persists. How can we just say yes in the present moment? Not necessarily that we're completely surrendering and we get walked all over. Maybe the yes in that moment is that a belief system that you have has been challenged. And maybe that yes is you accepting that challenge and knowing that you have to defend that belief system for yourself. That's okay. That's also a yes, because you're accepting what's coming back to you. You're accepting the moment as it is. You're not trying to change anything. That's why we start our weeks with gratitude, love, and appreciation for loving what is, accepting this moment as it is right now, with all of it, with all the things we do prefer, all the things we might not prefer, because there's beauty and perfection in everything where we're at in this moment. So with that, where in your life, this is what I journaled about this morning. I have a lot of things in my life, right? Where in your life are you saying no a lot? Where you're resisting, where you are not okay. And because you're not okay, you're focused on external circumstances to try and make that okay, instead of going within and saying, because that's where all the answers are, right? Instead of going within and saying, how can this be a yes moment? How can I appreciate this moment for what it is? How can I truly embrace this presence? I can promise a lot of you, your week will change substantially in the positive direction when you just embrace what is. But because we're human, it's not as easy. But what if it was? What if it's all easy? These are the things that come up for me when I'm journaling and meditating. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I have a question. So, soaking this in, the yes, the no. For me, and I can't speak for everyone, a no sometimes are those demons and dragons in your head of all those things that are never going to happen that you fear will happen. So, like 90% of all the things I used to worry about are things that never happened.
That's powerful, right?
When you're there, you almost have to slap yourself and say, wait a minute, is this real or is it not real? Is this something that is going to happen or is this fabricated? Did I just create a demon?
Well, when you say I created the demon too, what is actually creating that demon though? What part of your body?
See, I'm not there right now, so I'd have to put myself in a state to think of that. I'd say it would
No,
probably
you just
be
said think. You just said think. So what the body part is that? Right?
it would be my brain, but I would feel it in my stomach.
Yeah. Yes. Because what you think creates an emotion, right? The only reason your brain is thinking to keep you away from those fearful situations is because in the past you experienced an emotion you did not prefer. So the heart informs the brain, right? Hey, I didn't like that feeling. I don't want to feel that again. I need you to keep me safe from that feeling. And then the powerful brain goes back and says, I'm pretty good at this. I can come up with every situation possible to avoid going to that situation. But are you sure you want me to do that? Like I created rocket ships. Do you want me to do that? Yes, please, please. I'm scared. I'm fearful of that. Okay, here's every 99,000 scenarios that can happen. And that's where anxiety comes from. It's just our heart informing the brain. Please keep me safe, because that's what the brain's really good at. Keep me safe, build, but that's when we have to lead with this. That's when the yes and no moments come from the heart, not necessarily the mind. So those demons for me are still there, Brian. We're human. That's why I get up. That's why I work out. That's why I journal and meditate. And knowing now, like Michelle, even we've gone through some very powerful moments with her. Now the brain comes in, starts to go through old stories and spirals and anxieties, and we know it's a physical reaction. Like we move it away and just drop into our heart right here. And it's hard to even understand. A lot of us don't even know what the heart feels like because we've been in our mind since we were babies, since we learned how to breathe, learned how to be accepted, learned how to not be abandoned, learned how to be accepted and have friends, learned how to be okay in the religious groups and then schools, and learn how to be instead of who we actually are when we're born. That was a great awareness, though. Thank you for that.
So here's the puzzle piece. At what point does the flow of that thought and emotion stop, and I get to hit the brakes and say, is this real?
Is this real? Say it again.
So this 90% of stuff that never happens,
Yes.
I tend to worry about.
Yes.
At what point I wish there was like an engine light that would come on and say, hey, wait a minute, you have to ask yourself, is this real, or are you imagining this is going to happen?
Yeah.
Where's the check engine light?
Just by you just did it, right? Just by you asking that question, is this real or am I imagining? That's awareness. You just brought awareness to it, right? And by that awareness, it's like, oh, okay, I know why you're doing this again. I appreciate you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been such a good helper in building all these businesses, right, for you, Brian, and building this life for us and painting these beautiful pictures. I appreciate you. But a lot of these stories now you're coming up with just they're not me. They're just the thought patterns because a long time ago we asked you to keep me safe. And that's why you're going up with all these scenarios. So when you look at it and you just focus on, here's a great question for you, Brian. If you get that awareness, I will ask you, how do the tops of your feet feel right now?
A little sweaty because it's humid here.
That takes you out of the stories and the anxiety going into your body. But the fact that you already asked the question, like, when is this real or is this not? That's the awareness. That's the awareness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stay right here, though, right now. I'm not going to follow you for just now. Take a break. How do my feet feel? Let me go to my breath. How does my liver feel right now? That's a weird question, right? That will get you out of the brain when you need to.
That's
What a
super
beautiful
helpful.
question. Huh? What, Brian?
Wasn't me.
Oh, Michelle, did you say something?
Oh, I probably did. Oh shit. Yep. Hold on a second.
It's oh shit. You don't have to say oh shit. Oh geez.
Oh my God, I'm actually unmuted. Somehow I unmuted myself. No, that was it spoke to me because I do tend to dip back, and that's a great anchor. Is how do the tops of my feet feel right now? Or oh my butt hurts because I'm sitting down. Just something foolish like that to pull me out of my head is a great anchor. So thank you. I didn't realize I was unmuted though.
You're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Love
Hey,
that
Nick.
Brian. Yeah, Chris. Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Good morning. I got my earbuds in, and I got some work going around my neighborhood, so bear with me. But I normally don't chime in, but on this one, Coach Franco is quick to remind me on the anxiety stuff that there's anxiety, fear, and then there's wisdom, fear. And he categorizes them with one's, I guess my definition is one's irrational based on no experience, right? Based on a fantasy of the mind. The other one is rational based on experience. So if you're thinking about something that could happen, that may have happened before, but for instance, in business, that it might be something to take heed to and take action on. But if it's irrational, then go down the path of what you guys were just describing, where it's like, hey, is this real? Could this really happen? Is this just my mind? I do have challenges with that. On another note, I tend to feel I just have like physiological issues where I can't seem to think some mornings I can't seem to pinpoint. I have trouble pinpointing what I'm thinking about. So I think that doing an exercise like you're suggesting would help me too. And I've even had a therapist tell me that. It's like, look around the room, and if your eyes are clear and you're seeing everything, then you're probably in the present moment. Sorry about the truck. If your eyes are blurry, you're not seeing clearly, you're not taking note of your heart rate and the feelings of your feet like you guys were describing, then you're probably not in the present moment. What can you think about to get you back into the present moment? And man, this resonates with me because I am, despite learning, so out of practice with it and want to practice it so much more than I do. So thanks for the reminder.
Oh, I love that,
Chris, I want to say thank you for framing that for me as well, because when that dashboard light comes on and I ask, is this real? If the answer is yes, it sounds like the wisdom, I forgot the second word, and if it's no, then it's the anxiety. And how did you box that? What was
it's anxiety, fear. I call it anxiety, fear versus wisdom, fear. He calls it wisdom, fear. I call the other one anxiety, fear. But I mean, the thing is, you're a powerful guy. You got a strong mind. So there's validity to some of these concerns that you have sometimes, and they should be honored. and explored. And if it's wisdom fear, then you figure out a plan to take action. If it's anxiety fear, then we have to get back into the present moment. And that's where I find the most challenge. Well, I find challenge in both, but yeah, that I call it fear anxiety.
Yeah, Chris, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good, Chris. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. As a refresher,
My
though,
pleasure.
the word fear, it's also information. That's all it is, right? Your brain is activating certain neural pathways in order to keep you safe. So when that fear comes up, we have to make sure we do acknowledge it. We don't push it away. And it, like in my case, right? If you mentioned business, Chris. So in my case, I was really, really, really good at going through every single possible scenario on every single deal, good, bad, and ugly. Really, really, really good at it. And at the same time, I would only address checklists, procedures, and systems once something actually happened, right? And it's funny for me, the moment I changed a checklist or changed an SOP or changed a procedure, because I learned a lesson, right? So, okay, I changed that. Once I changed it, it's almost out of my head. Like that anxiety fear doesn't come up anymore because I have dealt with it by putting it into a checklist. This is using the mind as a friend to the heart. And that's all I'm going to share with you too, Chris. Like I know you and I were very similar. You don't have to live in the mind as much as you do. And so you can label it anxiety fear, wisdom fear, fear. Well, I don't know what I'm thinking and when I'm thinking it. How do I get out of my head? But the reality is, right? Like the moment you start to think anything, wisdom fear or anxiety fear won't matter. Just, hey, how do I get in my body right now? I am safe. I am safe. And if we take you down the whole fear rabbit hole of, well, then this happens and we lose money, and this happens, we lose money, and then what happens, that's how the fear finally eliminates, right? By having you live it and feel it and then see that you're still here. The brain's only to keep us alive. Money is just an energy source. Businesses are something we get to do, and it's a game, always. The universe will always provide, always, for your stability and security. And you need to understand and have faith in that. That's root chakra work. And if you need evidence, you go back to when's the last time I didn't know when something was going to work out, and it still worked out because you're still here. So all of these things like root chakra work, stability, security, all of those things, if you can feel that security deep down, everything else we get to do, right? It's all a beautiful game. So when it comes to business, I mean, if we have positive intentions, we can do nothing wrong. Because just like wisdom, just like experience, and just like love, money is another energy source. We're not doing anything wrong. We're playing a game. I love that you shared, Chris. Thank you. I know we're past the time though, so drop in the WhatsApp if you have more feedback or thoughts or questions. Like I love this conversation. Next time, pipe in at 9:10, will you? Jeez. That would be awesome. I know we had some people that would love this conversation, or we can chat more about it next Monday. So let's go ahead, Brian.
I'll be gone until December 2nd, so I may not be catching these.
Yeah, we love you, Brian. Appreciate you so much, dude. Thank you for your energy. Post in the WhatsApp chat. Let's end our session like we usually do with a little brief meditation. If you want to join me, you can. We'll take a deep breath in. Another deep breath in. As we start this week in awe of everything around us, seeing everything that we have come to be in this life, acknowledging all the love that people have for us and that we have for others, acknowledging all of the things that we're able to have and see and touch in this awesome life here as a human. Being able to create and play a game that we choose every single day. Being able to show up for ourselves in the best way possible using acts of self-love. Being able to show that love for others with a note or email or positive affirmation or a hug or a touch. And being able to move towards in our life that which brings us the most excitement or passion or joy that we can possibly even experience. Knowing that all is possible and that the journey and expansion of us and our souls sometimes does involve unlearning what has been learned to connect deep into the heart and give the brain a rest. Knowing that the brain is the servant and the heart will lead. Remembering yes and no moments, remembering to embrace all the moments that we do prefer and the moments that we don't prefer, with love and grace, feeling everything we need to feel and understanding that everything is happening perfectly and in its own time. We are exactly where we need to be, doing exactly what we need to do for the intentions that we set forth. What another great week. We'll seal this with another deep breath in. So much love for all of you guys, as usual. Thank you all for jumping in, especially people who jumped in with feedback. Brian and Chris and Michelle and Dickens and all the wonderful people. Love, love, love you. See you guys next week.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, indeed. Thank you for your service.